I'm here today with the UKArms Galaxy-made G12. This is based on the Mauser M712 pistol. This is going to be an in-depth review. I'm going to go over the things that I like, don't like, the basic features, statistics, and things that they don't tell you about this gun. It's not all pickles and daisies for $13. So we're also going to be comparing it with the Double Eagle M32 that I reviewed previously. And we're going to compare and contrast between the two. This does have some upsides compared to the G12 that I have here, but I'll show you those soon enough. So, pretty excited to get into these actually. This is going to be, I don't think I've ever done a compare and contrast video like this before on two different pistols in the same video. Yeah, let's get right into this. Okay, so the G12 is going to come to you in a nice cardboard box, and you're going to get the G12 itself with the large magazine, small magazine, and some white BBs. Now, the first thing you might notice is that the G12 isn't quite to scale. I believe it's only a 2/3 scale replica, made in China, and it does have some nicer fake wood grips than the M32 does. Full metal zinc-alloy shell construction, fixed sights, and this one actually has a, I'm not quite sure what that part is on the real M712, but it's got that and the M32F doesn't. The hammer moves. The slide, which is metal, has a pretty tough spring on it. And this one, the outer barrel is glued in compared to the M32F, whereas the M32F you're supposed to put it on yourself. So you can't really make adjustments to this one if you want to. And the longer magazine actually has the weight in it this time around, whereas the smaller one did on the M32, which I guess is a correction for this version. This version is correct in that the larger magazine is obviously going to be heavier. It has a fake safety and selector switch. Small magazine is in a glossy black plastic, and you can actually see the screw for the magazine spring at the top there. The feeding lip goes in backwards. They both drop freely actually, thankfully. However, the magazines on this one do not have a locking follower, so that's a bit of a drawback, but it's not a huge issue. The rear sight picture is this extremely thin slant. I mean, coupled with the non-adjustable orange front sight, this is going to be a really difficult challenge to use if you're actually trying to put it to use in a game. The shots are almost certainly going to be off, and that's actually about it for the packaging. Okay, so I took the G13 down in the basement for some shooting, and I was shooting at about roughly 35 feet to a half-scale human torso target, and I really wasn't all that impressed with what I got. So I had trouble even hitting the target at all at that range. The sights were very much inaccurate. As I expected, they were crooked, and then the gun was shooting to the right, but it was still really hard to predict how far to compensate for it, so it was a really difficult time shooting it compared to the M32. The G13 shoots at about 170 to 185 FPS with a .12, and the short magazine holds 8 rounds, and then the longer one only holds 9. So that was a very strange discovery for me to make. The hot butt packing is a lot more mild than the M32, so the pellets weren't jumping up even half as high as the M32 was. It could probably do at least 50 feet with some skill and dialing in. What little dialing in you can do. So I'm going to wrap this video up with just some more comparisons between the M32 and then the G13. So as you can see, the scale is just way off on the G13, whereas the M32 is probably almost exactly 1-to-1, and the G13 is 2/3 scale. Magazines are absolutely not interchangeable because they appear to be almost half the size of each other, or rather 50% larger. The sight picture is a bit different. The slit for, or the rear notch for the sights The M32 is a bit wider, so it's easier to aim with. Although the G13 does have an accurate color for a collector's concern. It also has, and that's actually a safety lever I've discovered, and the M32 does not have that. The lanyard hoops are just a bit bigger on the M32, and of course it comes with that nice little good luck charm thing, I think. I'm not sure what that is. So, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to say Galaxy really dropped the ball in this one, in my opinion. And whereas I gave the M32 a 4 in a previous review, I'm gonna have to give the Galaxy 2 out of 10. And I would not recommend this gun. The M32 is cheaper, it shoots better, the magazine holds more ammo, and it basically does everything better. What really killed the G12 for me is 2/3 scale. I mean, why?